Hey everybody. So in today's video, I'm going to be playing as Greece and trying to form Alexander's empire again. So the reason I'm doing this instead of an achievement guide or something is because the DLC is about to come out in a week, so it'd probably be pretty redundant to do a guide at this point. So I just wanted to do a quick little, I guess, commentary over this footage. So my first plan was to go monarchist, and going fascist is the best option, and I'm gonna go fascist as soon as I can as Greece. And we're actually going to do something pretty interesting to be able to get Albania. I don't know why we need Albania to form Alexander's empire, but you know. But first we need to become fascist as soon as possible. Now, in order to get the fascist support we need to become a fascist empire, as Greece, we need to, one, hire the demagogue as soon as we can, which is after we get the recruit the fascist focus done. And then we're going to have to immediately go down some economic policies, national focuses, in order for us to get another part of the focus tree after we turn fascist, because we're not just going for changing our ideology, we're actually going for being able to create a faction, and you'll see what I'm going to do with that soon. Alright, so if you're playing along, something I would like to mention is that you should pick the Empire option when this pop-up shows up after you finish the Modern Movement. And the reason is because if you pick the Fascist Kingdom option, you won't get the option later to restore the Macedonian Empire. So you really need to choose the Empire path option, or all of your conquests and stuff later on will be pretty pointless. And now, as soon as I've set everything up to mobilize my economy, I need to justify on Albania as soon as I can, because, and we need to do this with the claim war goal, because if you do it with the just normal conquer, it will expire, but if you do it with the claim war goal, it won't expire, meaning that you keep the war goal until you obviously declare war. And this is important because once we basically secure that Italy won't join the war against us, we obviously don't want the war goal to have expired by then. Alright, here comes the master plan. So, the whole reason that I've been rushing down the focus tree in order to be able to create a faction is because I've been working to improve my relations and make a non-aggression pact with Italy so that I can make a faction temporarily and then declare war on Albania so Italy won't join, and then I'm going to attack Bulgaria after that to maybe get some Italian assistance, since I don't want to wait too long to attack Bulgaria, because if I wait too long, they'll join the Axis. And then after I deal with Bulgaria, we're going to disband the faction and then join the Axis. So, there should be a time-lapse playing right now of us fighting those two wars, so enjoy. And now, with Albania and Bulgaria finished, we can disband the faction and then later join the Axis, but you might also be thinking, well, now your next target should be like Turkey. Nope. Our next target is actually the Allies, because they have a bunch of random. They have the entirety of Egypt. Like, we need Egypt, we need Syria, Kuwait, all of that stuff to form the empire. So, yeah. And I ended up basically having to do this with 24 divisions only and a very, very small navy. But I did find a very small opening to get naval supremacy against the British in order to invade them, so it eventually all worked out. But this war was very interesting because I almost got capitulated multiple times due to naval invasions, and for like a big chunk of fighting in Britain, I was fighting off the British army with 10 divisions in the actual island. So that was fun, but you'll see that in a little bit. And after the time lapse of the War of the Allies is over, I will talk about what I'm going to do next. And now for the peace deal with the Allies. So what I took is mainly just what I needed to form the empire. So I took Egypt and Kuwait and then Pakistan, but couldn't take Syria because Vichy France got it. So instead I took the British Navy, and by taking the British Navy I was able to basically be able to quickly take out Vichy France along with the other Axis allies. And the reason I called in the other allies, my other allies, into the war against Vichy France is because, well, I only needed Syria from them, so it didn't really matter to me if they got all the rest. But after that, our goal is to then take down Yugoslavia, and I end up not actually calling any of my allies into that because I actually thought I was pretty well off at least fighting them, and I was. And then we're going to fight Turkey. And whenever Turkey capitulated, I noticed that something was off. I didn't get a peace conference. And then I looked, and I saw that the Soviet division's red now. It's like... So, because I called in my allies, the Turks joined the Comintern when Germany declared war on Soviets, so I'm fighting the Soviet Union like way earlier than I thought I was, so I wasn't prepared at all. And so this led to some manpower issues, but instead of specifically going after the Soviets, I just kept rolling through the Middle East because, you know what, I wasn't going to wait for the Soviets to collapse. So we kept going, even with our small army, and it was a pretty interesting war. I immediately went through Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan as soon as I could, and would eventually reach a stalemate, kind of, but eventually also do get some bonuses from our focus tree that give us a decision that gives us some attack bonuses against any like major powers worldwide for 90 days. So, wasn't necessarily an easy war, but I guess I got the land to form the empire a lot quicker than I thought I was gonna get it, so that was really nice. And then, after my little 90-day offensive that I got, that I did because I got a bonus to attacking the Soviet divisions, I started to have a little bit of a crisis in the empire itself. The main issue was manpower, because we'd lost a lot of men doing that 90-day offensive, and so we didn't have any extra manpower left over for our garrisons. And so this caused a pretty big crisis, which resulted in Iran revolting, and ironically, Iran revolting actually kind of ended the crisis, because all of the garrison divisions, well, all of the garrisons that were in Iran got returned to my manpower pool. So I actually gained manpower from the entirety of Persia revolting, which I thought was kind of funny. But after I was able to deal with that, I mainly just focused on trying to get the Soviets to capitulate through a collaborationist government being set up by spies, and I did a small little offensive around Tashkent and that area just so I could get control over the states I needed to finally form the Macedonian Empire and not have a manpower problem while I'm finishing off the Soviets. And it all works out pretty well. And now, after my little offensive, where I micromanaged to get the areas around Tashkent, we're finally able to form the Macedonian Empire. And I'm not going to leave it on a cliffhanger. I am going to finish off the Soviets, but this was actually pretty fun. A pretty fun campaign. It was a little annoying to have to figure out how I was going to basically cheat the game in order to get Albania. But other than Albania, it was a pretty fun Hearts of Iron 4 game. Wasn't too easy, wasn't too difficult either. So I think if you're intermediate or above as a player, you can probably do this just as easily or maybe even easier than I did, even after watching this, because really what you need is just the very basic idea to do this. And yeah. I just finished off the war with some nice borders. Well, I try to make them nice. I don't know. Looking back on it now, I don't know if they're the nicest borders I could have gotten, but anyways, that does it for this week's video. And next week, I will probably see you in a stream or something for the new DLC. So, see ya. And if you haven't already, subscribe, like, maybe leave a comment. And peace.